Hello, it's me again, the buyer, and today we are back in automation to finally continue our journey to make Cisalpina the greatest sports car manufacturer of all time. And we do that today by continuing to work on our SUV. It's been a while, so let's try to get into it again. We have designed the exterior. I want to make a few smaller adjustments, and then we'll integrate the interior and work on the mechanicals of the car, which we just prototyped last time, but I still need to fine-tune it. So first of all, maybe to start off, I asked for a name recommendation, and I think the one that I liked the most and that was recommended multiple times was Montagna. So let's go with that one. And yeah, we'll have multiple trims. We'll think about the names later on. We are currently working with a V12 engine, which is already in engineering because of the Nuvia project, which means we also cannot change the V12 anymore. We have to use the variants that we currently have. Anyway, back to the design. What I wanted to do is, a recommendation as well to lower the roofline a little bit to make it look a tiny bit more sporty. So let's try to do that without breaking the complete car. The grille has totally fallen apart. Can I undo everything? Yeah, almost. So let's try again. I think this time it worked a little better. So we have a little bit of a lower roof now. And yeah, what else did I want to change? I wanted to give the front a little bit more depth, and I will do that by basically making the main grille a little bit more deeper. Can insert that a little bit. Was that too much? Maybe. Let's try something like this. And then we have to also move those. Now it would be nice to be in the new game build, because then I could just move those in and still they would be conforming to the body. In the old build I can just move into 3D mode, and then it doesn't really look all too nice. So I guess we have to go a little less extreme and make those a little thicker. Alright, there we go. Just a little bit more, a little less flat. Oh, it's alright. And then I forgot side indicators, and I researched a little bit, and the first car to have indicators in the wing mirror was the Mercedes-Benz S-Class in 1998. So as we aim for a release, I think in 2000, we can go for that here as well. It's just that these mirrors don't have the nicest way to integrate them. It's just a patch there, so maybe I'd go for different mirrors as well. It's a bit modern, but there are not too many options, so I think I have to go with this one. Alright, then what I also forgot was the third brake light, and I think we lost our Cisalpina badge here. Might have been lost to our roof modification. Just checking if there's something else that has been lost, but I don't think so. We also don't have a handle on and nothing. Also no text, so let's add that. And yeah, third brake light is missing. Others also mentioned that maybe a roof spoiler would be good for more sporty look. I'll try to do that, but I guess it will be difficult. Yeah, it doesn't look too nice. And I don't think we have well conforming fixtures for that. Maybe this could work. Let's do it like this and then integrate the third brake light on top there. Yeah, I think that works. Alright, and with this I think we are done with the exterior design. It has become a little bit more sporty, and I hope you like it. So on to engineering. Before we go deeper, let's first take a look at our planning overview. So in this sheet we have basically an overview of our current models that are still being sold. Some are already discontinued, like the Freccia and the Cuneo, marked in black here. Some have gotten a facelift, that's marked in pink. And we are basically taking a look here at the emissions regulations and the safety regulations. This view has basically made its way into the game by now, into the most recent campaign build. I still have to work with my own overview, but basically what this is telling us is that Helvetia is the most heavy on safety and Fuenia is the most heavy on emissions. I don't care so much about Helvetia right now, although the SUV might do nicely there. The most important thing for us now is emissions. And there we are facing emissions regulation of OS 9 in Fuenia by 1998, and we will release after that. So OS 9 is the goal, and for safety it would be 45 at least. Also we see that the Cinquanta and the Saetta and the Nuvia are basically failing those emissions regulations soon. The Saetta is critical because this is our cash cow and the ones where we sell the most units. I'll probably discontinue the Cinquanta soon. I will pay some emissions fees, but it's just a track car, and I will discontinue it without a facelift at some point. This was just a company anniversary special edition car, and it will disappear as soon as we are losing money with it. Anyway, so OS 9 it is for this one. That's the goal. And if we take a look here, then we see that we basically make it, we just are failing it in NOx. And we cannot do a lot about it because we cannot edit the engine, because it's already in engineering. This was the one major mistake that I made during this campaign. Anyway, we can still play around with gearing and maybe make aerodynamics a little bit more effective. 16.9% margin, and if I increase the top gear, then we are in higher gears earlier and we will get less of a failure. And I think like this we won't pay a lot of penalties. So I think it would be fine. The gearing, is a little short in the first gears, but it's also okay to get some utility out of this. So let's talk about trims now. This is the V12 car. The V12 will probably be the upper limit. I don't know if we want to have an all-out 600 horsepower car here. This one has 370. Take a look here, what do we have? So this is basically what we have in the car right now. We have a turbo with 640, which will definitely not go into this one, and a 700 horsepower. And the other ones are older builds, which are emissions wise not viable. Let's go with the 370. And this will be basically the Cingale. So let's paint it black like all of our wild builds, and then optimize the car. The next major decision is the gearbox. And I think we have discussed it last time that I'm not sure about manual or advanced automatic. From a scoring perspective, the advanced automatic is just so much better for this use case. So I think we have to go with it. We have to consider this is a monocoque car, which means we have to produce quite a few. We have to go into a medium factory, and somehow it needs to work. So I think advanced automatic it is. Helical limited slip diff, I think it's fine. So that's basically the geared option. Rearward split, definitely when it comes to power. And for the wheels, I think for the V12 version we might go for sports. 85 versus 83. Medium is actually better. And also I think the tire sizes are pretty good, though we might want a little bit more on the rear. Alright, and then for the brakes we'll definitely need to adjust this. This was not done yet. Right, 86 by now. And then aerodynamics. Looks like we don't have a lot. We do have something in the front. I just want to eliminate a lift, and other than that have a little less drag because of our emissions problem. Semi-clad under tray, off-road skid tray could also be possible. but semi-clad I think. We have a sports car, not a proper off-roader. We might spend a little bit of quality here, just to make it a bit more efficient. So let's take a look at the markets again, which budget we actually have in the utility sport. Luxury, it's 49 plus minus, so we will not go for handmade. We stick with the luxury, but maybe for this one we give it one click of quality. Safety wise we are super good, so standard safety is enough. ESC will cost us a lot when it comes to engineering. So need to offset that a little bit. But I think ESC makes sense. This is our first car where we want to have ESC on board because it's quite high. It does the weight distribution very front heavy. Can go a little bit more to the rear, although it makes it more expensive. And then suspension tuning. Yeah, this is also not fully done yet. For such a car, for the high end, you could go for active or even air. But I stay basic Cisalpina like. We are not a high-tech company, but we might have semi-active sway bars. So you could maybe select a more sporty sway bar or something. Same for the dampers. A little bit more grip maybe in general. And we are bottoming out, so a little bit harder springs. We lose a lot of comfort doing that. So that would be our V12 build. Cinghiale, aiming for utility sport luxury, probably a bit higher priced. And then I need one more trim with a bit of another focus. I had just a backup clone, so let's delete this one. We'll copy the Cinghiale and make it the normal one. I don't have any proper names for the normal ones, so Stradale it is. But yeah, before we do that anyway, let's first model the interior. I don't want to do that twice. Also saw that I forgot the windshield wipers, so let's first add those. Alright. Now we're really done with the exterior and we can move to the interior. Finally. I'm not looking forward to that as always, but let's try our best. Alright, I think that's as good as it gets. Yeah, could do a little bit more detail obviously, but I think it's alright. I'll quickly do a check in BeamNG to see if all of the materials export properly, and then we'll move on to the other trim. Alright, I did a quick test in BeamNG. Things work nicely. Also I added the gauges instrument cluster to be working in the working steering wheel. The only thing that I didn't really like is it was understeering like hell, so I just give it more front tire and a little less rear. Then we also have square tires, might be better for service costs, and maybe also a little bit more front camber. Overall drivability suffers, but sportiness is much better. I'm definitely happy with the Cinghiale, and now let's go back and basically clone this one. And with this we have the Stradale in red, and this one will get another engine. So if you take a look, we have our old 2-valve overhead cam engine, the V8 with 3 liters. I think it's time for a successor for this one, for the entry-level Stradale. So let's go and start a new engine project. And I also want to make sure that we not only get a nice naturally aspirated, but also a turbocharged version that we can use for more spicy cars in the future. I have a few ideas what we do next. So if we start a new V8 project now, I think it makes sense to do it properly. I call it the V8 3200, probably 3.2 liters. So our V12s obviously are 60 degrees, maybe it makes sense to go for 60 degree here. And then we go for lightweight as always, so RC light. let's make it square, 3.6 liter, and then the initial engine will just be a 3.2. This time we go all out, dual overhead cam 4 valve, not all out, that would be 5 valves, obviously. Valve covers are missing a texture, and I use a little bit of quality, at least 1 point. Yeah, here we just see what we need in the end. Probably we need some forged internals, unfortunately, which means another expensive engine factory. I need to check if we still have an engine factory and who is currently using the V8. But for now I just go with the forged components. MPFI twin, I think. Dual longs, high flow 3-way, dual exhausts, and a simple straight through muffler. Choose this cover here in red. So what do we get? It will rev all the way to 9 something, but we'll make it a little more tame, so we don't need all of those. Could also use the hyper-eutectic cast, but they don't rev. But that might be a way to save some emissions. Also, I forgot to reduce the engine capacity, obviously. Let's go for 3.2 liters, so reduce the stroke, then we can get away with cheaper internals. And we can still rev. Look at that. That's pretty good, I'd say. And I'm not even on the proper fuel yet. 95 is available. 98 is just starting. And we are still far away from VES 9. But with a bit of emissions optimization we can easily get there. With that I should be safe forever, almost. VES 11 even, so... yeah, let's go for 5. Let's optimize the flow. And then we have 292 horsepower. Maybe let's go for 300. Just a bit stiffer springs. And also I need to optimize compression, obviously. But with the compression I lose my emissions stuff. 300 horsepower, OS 10. Still, I think, pretty good. We have a lot of margin everywhere. So for the 3.2 I think we are done. So let's optimize that one as well, or see what we need to change. This one I just go for Utility Sport Premium as our goal, to bring it above 250 kilometers an hour. A little skinnier tires. Maybe even not 19-inch but 18-inch. Probably need less brakes. And we go for sports interior or premium interior. Premium is better. Premium CD just to make it cheaper. But here we don't need all of the active stuff. And we leave the rest the same. Alright. And then we're done with those two, but I still need to build the turbo variant, of course. When did I say I want to release this? Was this 2000? 6 years? Probably, yeah. 6 years would be 72 months. I don't have a lot of time. 72 months, there we go. And here for the engine we do another variant. 3200 turbo. So we'll just slap a turbo on this one. Twin turbo, obviously. Yeah, told my engineers to tune the engine and they completely messed it up. Let's rev to 7.5. Yeah, the compressor was way too small. A little more boost. And I aim for 400 horsepower for this one, and I'm already there. Emissions wise, obviously I don't know what this will do because it's not in a car yet. But I think it will be alright. Somewhat at least. The Conrod doesn't like the stress there. Yeah, that's better. Still a little bit of stress, but it's okay. 420 horsepower, almost. There we go. That will be a good engine for a, yeah, for also very good sports car. And we are almost spot on there as well. Just need to work a little harder and save a little bit on reliability. 72 months, pretty good. And now let's see. So this is not even... Okay, I don't have a factory for the V8, so maybe I need to build one. That will be quite an expensive project again. A small one at least. Yeah, the engines are not... okay, if you include the engineering, it's quite expensive, but manufacturing is okay. Let's see where we land with this. Again, yeah, we need a factory that is using a monocoque, and we don't have any of those. We only have the Zeta, which still needs to be produced. So I need to build a new medium engine factory, a medium car factory, which will be quite expensive again. No add-ons, just keep it as cheap as possible. I'll probably just work with minimum shifts for now. 21 months to build. So I can use some quality. Alright, pricing looks okay on this page at least, but yeah, quite expensive. Alright, so what do we have here? Yeah, the margins obviously are completely all over the place. And then we are almost spot on there. Maybe let's make it a little cheaper. Should contribute quite a bit. We'll see how it goes. Margins 50-60% are not over the top, but it's okay. Engine factory overworked, so I need a bigger engine factory, obviously. Yeah, the plot is not the expensive thing. I still build in Freenia, obviously. Yeah. Boah. This is quite expensive, but we have 6 years of time. Let's save on tooling quality quite a bit. Somehow we will pay for it. It's borderline feasible. I'll reduce the cost a tiny bit so that we sell more. Anyway, I think this is pretty good. And we have a loan coverage of how many? We still have plenty of other projects currently going on. Let's take 75% just to be on the safe side. We definitely need to take at least half of it. Oh, I go for the full 10 years. This is a very expensive project. Backup save, and then we sign it off. Oh boy. One of the biggest projects, I think the Zeta was in a similar size. We'll see how it goes. We definitely won't sell as many, but I hope it's worth it. We can still always get 5 million per month from research. We still also have plenty of loans going on. Oh yeah, yeah, that's the new one, 350 million. Oh, 250 still from the Zeta. Yeah. But I think that's good for this one. I quickly export the Cinghiale again and take it to the test track. And then let's see how this big boy does there. Alright, there we are. Looking beautiful as ever. Oh, sounding great, I think. Don't know why only the right taillight and the right exhaust here are connected. Should be the other way around. yeah, anyway, let's try to get this going and see how quick this really is. Obviously automatic, pulls away nicely. And understeer still quite a bit. Oh god. Definitely need to be a little more patient than normally. Probably should also deactivate ESC just to be safe, because that might also limit us. But yeah, very quiet when not on throttle, and I'll definitely deactivate ESC for the next try. Just want to get a bit accustomed to the behavior. Oh yeah. So we have seen that it's front heavy, about 65% I think on the front axle. Try to counter that with a bit more drive on the rear, but still, and also square tire setup, but still understeers quite a bit. This is almost flat, however. But Bavarian bend probably is big problem. Yeah. And that's probably also what ends our little test here. So let's try again. I deactivate ESC. So first time that a car is not difficult because it has too much power. Probably the safest Cisalpina ever for the standard driver. Beautiful. Bit slow, but we managed to wrestle it around the hairpin. Another carousel. There we go. Much better than last time, I think. I'll try to lift a little bit, maybe in Bavarian bend. Not Bavarian bend. Slingshot. .230, and let's bring it to a halt there. Very nice, 100 kilometers an hour still, apex speed. That's almost perfect. And let's limit at 100. ABS is not doing its thing at all. Oh, hint of oversteer, but chicane was pretty bad. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, it's pretty good in the gravel. It might be a good rally car. Lost about 2-3 seconds, or maybe 4 or 5 there, but it's good enough. Really grips up as we go uphill. And still too quick. It's crazy how much it understeers. And it was even worse before I squared the tires. So that was 228. We've had worse, so it's okay. Anyway, this will be released, so it will probably divide the Cisalpina followership From the project forecast, it looks like it's a very, very good project for the company. We don't need to be safe. This doesn't have to be the Porsche Cayenne or whatever. We still have a good company right now, but I think it will further contribute that we can do more cool stuff in the future. But first of all, of course, the factories cost a lot of money. It will take more than 10 years to pay them off, so 16 years from now on until the factories are paid off. And then we are almost in 2010, so for the last 10 years we will probably earn more money with that. Or with our SUV platform, probably get one more after this. Let me know in the comments if you changed your mind and tend to like it now after the changes we made today, or if you still say, nah, Cisalpina, what have you become? Sorry again for the long wait. I hope to improve things now for the end of 2026. So see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching, thanks for the patience, and bye bye.